show.
All right, we're going.
Reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network. You're listening to LOTRO Reporter on the MMO Reporter Network, brought to you by Typefrag, the web's best Ventrilo hosting service, Guild Launch, slay more dragons with Guild Launch, and by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of LOTRO Reporter. This is episode 146. I'm Chris, and as always, I am joined by my favorite guy who has an I as the second letter in his name. That didn't work very well. Hi, Bill. How's it going today?
It was a valiant attempt, Chris.
I'm trying. Well, at least that's what my wife says. I'm very trying.
So you're telling me that I rank above Will Wheaton then?
No, how do you spell Will?
Second letter I.
But that no. I was thinking your last name, Bill. So, yeah. Sorry, you do not rank above Will Wheaton. I'm sorry. I am sorry. It's you're a nice guy. You're a really nice guy, but Will Wheaton? Yeah. Well, maybe, Bill. I'll consider it. How's that?
That makes me feel great. All warm and fuzzy on the inside.
Aw, shucks. Well, let's move along from this week's and Hugs and Kisses reporter and maybe get into a little LOTRO thing, you know? You know that LOTRO thing? Do you know it very well?
I remember LOTRO.
Yeah, it's that game, you know, Lord of the Rings, offline, online, offline, inline.
Offline is how I've been playing it lately. Lord of the Rings offline. No, I've been not in beyond our skirmishes last night. That was actually the first LOTRO I've been into all week. That was the first video game I've been in all week.
Well, but yeah, you've not been in your house, nevertheless, video games.
Well, I've been out of town for a while. I've been working like crazy, and yeah. So I'm itching for a good game night, I have to say. So
yeah.
So
we need to have an epic game
Let's
night.
Go.
We need to have an epic game night one night where we just do something epic.
Yep, like up until 4 a.m. with fueled by horrible kinds of caffeine and sugar and all that kind of stuff.
Horrible stuff.
And absolutely paying for it the next day,
yes.
But still having it really be worth it.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing to do.
That would be an ugly thing to do. I don't think anybody wants to see us while we're doing that.
Well, I'm not saying we live cast our faces while we do it, but it would still be fun to do.
Nobody wants to see our faces. Anyway, we've got faces for radio. All right. You like that one? I stole that one from Leo Laporte. Yeah, I steal a lot of things from Leo Laporte. A lot of things.
You know, he's got a lot of things to steal, so there you go.
Yeah. Well, you steal from the best, right? LARP it. Hey, Amavis wants us to live action role play it. Yes, that's right. No.
That's going to take a lot more than caffeine and sugar to get me to that stage.
Yeah. No, it's... I remember I used to play Pen and Paper Vampire with it was Vampire the Masquerade with a few people, and they were right on the verge. Like, they were so into their character. It could be that I was the only person in that whole room who wasn't under the influence of something, but they were so into what they were doing that they would be like right into the emotional depth of their character. And I'm like, let's just go fight some stuff. Let's just go do something.
But needs to be done. I mean, that was how our pen and paper was, really. I mean, we RP'd a little bit and everything, but when we RP'd, like, it almost went a little bit too far. Like, we would get angry.
It was because you guys was how can you bleep with the game master was your version of role playing.
Well, no, there was actual role playing that happened sometimes.
Sometimes.
And it got really close to fistfights a few times.
A couple of times, yeah. So, yeah. Well, again, that's because several members of our group thought that the best way to roleplay was to F with the GM. And I was usually the GM, and I did not enjoy it.
That was like the smallest part of it.
No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We're going to have to agree to disagree on that one. Because I still think you guys were
No,
messing
I
with me.
refuse to admit that. I won't disagree. Wait a sec.
Ah, ha, 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 ha.
So, how about you, Chris? What kind of excitement have you uh, uh, loaded up on this week?
Well, we did our skirmish of skirmishes, preceded by a fantastic run through of what's the name of the new skirmish again? Names are not my strong point. Come on, Bill. Save me. Save me. Chat room, save
I
me.
would be happy to
The
save you,
newest
Chris.
skirmish. In the snow
And
with the dragon at the end.
don't ever accuse me of googling rapidly
Oh, come
while
on.
I wait for you to
Methodress,
try to
thank
come up
you.
with the answer on your own.
Rose,
To
you
tell
are
you.
our hero. Methodress. Storm of Dragon at the end.
Storm
there you
of
go.
Dragon at the end. That
You
sounds
rock,
better. We
Rose.
should have named it that.
All right. So, let's say yes.
So where were we?
For, away from the what was the name of that skirmish game again, and on to some actual stuff. I did play the why am I keeping all of this crap inventory game, and I have to say, I am gonna need a virtual version of Hoarders because I keep all my stuff. I don't it's so hard, but I might need that. Isn't that
Do you have the extra bag yet?
Not yet. Not yet. I will soon though. But still,
You're breaking. The Legendary Edition is just it's calling to you.
it's been calling to me since it was announced. So yeah. Anyways, but even that, I would just here's the thing. I would just fill up 6 bags. That's what you don't understand. It's not a problem of it's like telling a hoarder that they just need to buy a bigger house. It's not going to make a difference. I need to get to the underlying root cause of why I won't throw anything away. Anything.
It's all, and you don't do tasks either. That's what actually
No.
fills my bags is saving every task item I get.
Yeah. No.
What do you keep? If it's not task items, what is it?
Crap. It's crap. It really is. It's like quest bits for this and quest bits for that, and I don't know. Potions.
Sell it all.
Yeah, just sell it. I don't know.
It's all worth silver. You can always buy it back.
I could, but I don't wanna. Anyways, yes. So that's when you're 75, you can ditch it all. I know, Leonore, but still, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I think is the problem. So, yeah, and especially not closing the Google, the Chrome tab that has the chat room in it. That would be really, really dumb if I did that. So I'm not going to do that because that would be dumb, and I'm not dumb, right? I just have no will, as we've learned. What episode was that?
That's a great tie you're wearing, Chris.
Thank you. That's I got dressed up just for the occasion. All right, so let's move things along, shall we? Because we are just, it's getting embarrassing, Bill. It's getting quite embarrassing.
Indeed.
All right, so let's get on to talking a little bit about our first sponsor, Audible. Audible is your home for any audiobook that you want to get. If you want to get an audiobook, the pause, by the way, is because I always want to say ebook. I don't know why I want to say ebook, but I just always do. If you want to check it out, you need to go to audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter because they have got a really cool deal. They've got a $14.95 a month subscription that you can get, which gets you a book a month, 30% off all your purchases on their library of 100,000 books. It's nuts. And tons of options, tons of freebies, and that's all for the subscription, so it's really, really worthwhile. But if you don't have the $15, or you don't want to put down the $15 without trying it out first, then we have got something that they can do, don't we, Bill?
Absolutely. You can head on over to audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter, a very special page just for MMO Reporter listeners, and you can sign up and get 1 month of the Audible subscription for free. So that gives you a free audiobook. That gives you the sale prices to purchase any more that you want to for that month as well as all the other benefits, but you get it for free. You got no money paid, no nothing. So if you're into audiobooks, if you've got a bit of a commute to take, uh, if you've got work that allows you to wear headphones, whatever, it's just a really nice thing to have. So check it out, audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. Sign up for your free trial and help support the MMO Reporter Network. You'll love it. Audible will love you, and we will love Audible and you. And you too, Chris. I love you.
Aw.
Platonically, of course.
All right. Awesome, bro. Yeah, moving on.
So in the news this week, the first thing we had up was the new YouTube video, the new community YouTube video that was put up this week with Sapience and Rowan talking about warbands. Now this is expanding a little bit on the warbands or on the mounted combat video that Rowan and Sapience did a few weeks ago, and were a little bit poked because there was really no information given. So this time we've got a little bit more information coming up about warbands and how they're going to work and everything like that. They did address monitor gate by just looking for the biggest monitor they could find in the office and sitting in front of it, so we don't have to feel so bad for Rowan now having
That's
that
right.
little tiny 17-inch monitor.
The 4x3
that
was what got me, really. I mean, come on.
Actually, yeah,
4x3?
that is true.
Who needs a 4x3?
I see those occasionally still, I have to say.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's been taken care of. Yeah, it was a really good discussion. There wasn't much in the way of like demo or anything like that. Same kind of thing. Very light on the in-game footage and that kind of thing. They did confirm some of the questions that had come up. I think stuff that we talked about, as well as stuff that's come up in the forums and that kind of thing. Talking about the danger of the warbands. There will be. It was kind of like we suspected or we were hoping for. There's going to be a certain amount of alert if you're paying attention. You'll be able to avoid or plan around your warbands and that kind of thing. But if you're not careful, you're going to get slammed. There will be map warnings. You'll be able to track them on the maps, and there will be some visual warnings on the map as well. So it's I'm liking it so far. I'm liking how it's shaping up.
Yeah, no,
from the discussion here.
I agree. I think it's really sounding good. The auto quest popping up, the tagging, which they talked about as well, is really, really cool. I like that you're going to be able to go in and help someone and not worry that they're going to lose out because you help them, right? You'll just each gain. And I think this is definitely taking a page from Guild Wars 2's book.
Yeah. It's common sense. I mean, really,
Oh, it is, yeah.
It's why it doesn't make sense to punish somebody for playing with somebody else. And I mean, in the end, yes, you might hand out more experience if as a net by having a person come in and help with a mob, and people might accidentally level faster with low risk. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
Yeah.
You should welcome people who try to play with you.
I
That's
agree.
like the underlying core of an MMO. So this is a nice step, and I hope they actually take that. I mean, they mentioned specifically that it's going to be focused on mounted combat and that kind of thing. Hopefully, it'll extend out to the rest of the game as well.
Yeah, no, that would be really, really cool. If they did that, of course, which we'll have to just wait and see. I don't think it's going to happen at launch of Riders of Rohan, though. That's going to be something that's going to have to wait for coming out in the future. So,
anyway, really good video. I really like seeing Rowan and Sapience on screen. They actually have a bit of they have a pretty decent cohesion and chemistry.
They do.
Together. It's actually kind of cool. We've talked to them a few times in real life as well, and they're both really cool guys. So So yeah. Anyway, definitely check out that video.
Very cool. All right, moving on to the next part of the show, talking about the Farmers Fair. Now, this is starting on July 19th, and this is going to be something that is going to be one of those fun things that you can get into events wise. Now, the cool thing about this particular dev diary is that the author of this, Lauren Budford Sulk, talks also about the long term impact of festivals on the human brain, which I think is my favorite quote from this. I just think that's really, really cool. But first, before we get that, let's talk a little bit about the Farmers Fair. It starts in Bywater, which is right in the Shire. And basically, if you know where the Green Dragon Inn is, you know it's there. Having something to do with Shire, of course, it's going to have to do with food, which is something that's kind of a big deal for the hobbits. I'm happy that that they have got some stuff to do with fishing, which is going to be cool. Nice for them to put fishing into something and make it hopefully a little bit more a part of the game rather than just this thing that some people do just 'cause. Right, Bill?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I've fished. I'm pretty sure I fished in game before. Uh, yeah. I mean, we're obviously stepping out. I mean, with all the focus we're getting on the expansion and the new areas and exploration and new levels and everything like that. Coming back to just a little bit of social messing around, festival type events and everything like that is actually going to be a nice break. I mean, I'm not seeing. I don't know. I think I don't know if the defining feature of this event is supposed to be its food or it's food-centered events or something like that. Maybe I wonder if this is playing off like the summer barbecue kind of thing where people gather to eat and party and that kind of thing, and obviously play off that in game. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'll definitely check it out. I mean, obviously there's hedge-based stuff and everything like that, but yeah, we'll see. It looks like it's just a break, like the
Yeah.
little combat. Take it easy. You know, the orcs will get killed sooner or later. It doesn't matter what. Take 5 and take her easy.
Yeah, the other quote here too is Bounder Boffin seems to have bad luck with his job as keeper of the peace. The Black Rider he encountered on the road not too long ago was a piece of cake compared with the trials of maintaining order at the Farmers Fair. I find that funny.
Yep, that's yeah.
Yep.
Those Black Riders are wusses.
That's true. I mean, really, come on, Black Riders versus Hungry Hobbits. I'd rather face the Black Rider any
There's
day.
not even any color there. That's just
No.
it's easy.
Yeah.
Especially anyway. So moving on a little bit. One thing that is really difficult to defeat, apparently in LOTRO anyway, is the lag problems that have been persistent for several months. If you've been reading through the forums and that kind of thing, lag is one of those things. Every time there's a patch, every time there's a new feature announced, anytime there's a new summer festival, there's always someone in the forums saying, why don't you fix the lag instead? Hey, how about you fix the lag? Why don't you fix the lag? What do you think, Chris? Do you think they should fix the lag? They should fix the lag. Oh, I'm just about ready to shoot
You know, when
somebody.
they're done
Anyway,
that, though, they
sorry.
might want to fix the lag. I mean, that's another option, too.
After I'm done shooting people for complaining about the lag, then maybe we'll go fix the lag. Anyway, Sapiens has actually put up a post in the forums to kind of address this, looking for some very specific information about the lag that you experience in game. Because obviously, just saying fix the lag is like going to your doctor and saying I hurt.
Yeah.
So what they're looking for is your character name, the date and time that you're experiencing your lag, what you were doing at the time that you were experiencing your lag, whether it was just standing around, whether you were in combat, whatever was going on, where you were, so what server, and the LOC or /LOC command to give the coordinates of where you were when the lag was happening, and then just kind of a rundown of what the lag was like. whether you appeared to be running in place, whether everything was stopped around you so it looked like a photograph a bit, or whether it was just you that stopped but everybody else kept moving, or anything on those lags, or I got lag on the brain now. Anything along those lines. And this is really valuable information to be able to go with. I mean, it's really frustrating. I know from IT experience to have somebody just come up to you and say it's slow, fix it, is just about the most infuriating thing that you can possibly say to somebody. So, the more details that people can provide for these posts, the better.
I agree. I think that would be a really, really good thing because, like you said, it's not good if you just go in and say, yeah, this isn't working. This isn't working. Fix it. Fix it. Anyways.
Leonor's mentioned in the chat room here, the website is down. That's actually a really funny series of like IT videos in case
Okay.
you haven't been on the internet since 2003. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Cool.
Just do a Google search on the website is down for YouTube. It's good.
Is that the one that's the voiceover with the text typing? Like of the IT call? No?
Sort of.
Okay.
It's kind of a really high pitched, sped up voice, sort of like
Yes.
we used
Yep,
to do with the Hobbits. And it's all you see is the tech guy's screen as he's trying to work and deal with this call.
Yeah, as he's playing
Really good.
Halo, wasn't it?
There was actually a series of videos.
Oh,
One
okay.
of them had started off with him playing Halo. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, hilarious stuff. Anyway, moving on. Report your lag. Be a good citizen. I actually don't experience this. I can't remember the last time I've had any kind of crippling lag in game. I sometimes get a little bit of a spike when I'm in the middle of Galtrev or something like that.
Yeah.
But or in PvMP, lag is actually a good thing because that's when you know you're about to get stomped. You know to go into stealth. But other than that, like I've never actually had my play. Like I've never been able to, or I've never had to stop playing for lag.
Yeah. We've
just
noticed
me,
it in our skirmish of skirmishes for sure.
Yeah, but it's not been like it's certainly not broken our skirmishes. I don't think we've ever wiped for lag.
No, I don't think so either. So
anyway.
Yep. All right. So moving along to the next story, talking about the first wave of the beta invites have been sent out, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of exciting. I like that.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
I hope
Whatever.
there's people out there that really enjoy it.
Oh, you're definitely not going to take part in the beta?
No, I am zeroed in on enjoying Riders of Rohan the moment it comes out. I really hope there's good beta testers out there that want to try it and look for bugs and everything like that and make it as positive and complete a process as possible. But no, I really like that kind of first day experience to try everything out.
You know, you say that every time, and then you usually end up getting into the beta for a little while. You know that, right?
No.
No,
No.
Careful there.
I have never participated in a LOTRO beta.
That's not true.
This is a true story.
That is not a true story. Because I
Actually,
know that we went into Siege of Mirkwood together.
Nope.
Yep, we did. I remember.
I believe you're thinking of somebody else, Chris. I did not experience Siege of Mirkwood or anything before it came out. I've never done it with LOTRO.
Mm-hmm. All right, listeners, it's time for all of you to go and data mine those old episodes and prove me right, darn it, prove me right. And of course, the number one rule, as Rose is saying, is the first rule of beta is don't talk about beta.
Which is not going to be a problem for me.
No. And of course, what do you think of the idea that they're going with the people who signed up for the pre-order first, and having them get their invites first?
I think it's fine. It depends on the kind of beta it is, because there's obviously different kinds of beta. There's very serious bug sniffing betas. There's tech demo betas and everything like that. If this is a no-talkie beta, which Sapiens did say in his post, do not talk about this because you can't. they're looking for testing, and I really hope that the people who sign up first and that kind of thing, in their eagerness, also want to help and make sure it's a good product, so that they're going to actually do testing and they're going to report bugs and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, ultimately, I would have liked to see them maybe uh, look to previous testers, look to uh, really active and polite forum posters and that kind
Yeah.
of thing. I think that would have been a better pool to draw from first, and then extend it to, or extend the beta participation to the people who've pre-ordered, because they do deserve some consideration. Don't get me wrong. But when you're talking about a functional beta, I think it's important that you get the best testers you can get.
I agree 100%. The beta is not a preview. Beta is testing. If
Yeah.
you're going
Well,
into it as a preview, then you know what? I think you're going in for the wrong reason.
I think there's some games that do it as a preview.
Some
There's actually
games
probably
that
many
do,
games. I
Turbine does
don't think
not.
I was going to say, I don't think Lotro or Turbine really does that. I think
No.
there's, and apparently they need it. We've had some interesting releases in the past, but yeah,
Yeah.
I hope it goes. I hope all the testing goes really well, and I hope that everybody enjoys the beta who participates in it and then doesn't tell us about it.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, and you've got a story
Exactly.
now.
Yeah, somebody who was able to go in and tell us about things in beta is Mr. Sip over at Massively. He got to
Mm-hmm.
do a run through on with mounted combat, which I have to say, as much as I don't really want to participate in the beta and get that new shiny Rohan feel when it comes out, a little bit jealous. I would have liked to have tried this out. It sounds like he had a really good time and really got to see some interesting stuff for mounted combat. Some of the highlights in here is, I think the big highlight is that, or that jumped out to me first anyway, was the fact that there's going to be a new legendary item that you attach to your horse. I think we kind of suspected that in previous episodes and thought that was likely going to happen, but we didn't know for sure. But now we've actually seen the UI and the big pink box that's been confirmed by Aaron Campbell as being a legendary slot. So that's
Another
there.
legendary item? Yay! Hey,
Oh man,
hey,
it's I
hey.
don't know. Anyway, it's at least it's not any more complicated than the ones that are already in there. If you've
All
done
right.
if you've done two, you could probably do three. It's probably
Mm,
not going to be that big a difference. I hope. That's my fingers are crossed and my knocking wood and all that kind of good stuff.
yeah.
The other thing that jumped out at me in this was speed. I mean, Sip mentioned many or several times in the article that the horse just felt like it was going super fast, like in some cases so fast that you couldn't even control it. So I'm actually kind of excited about that. I mean, that's always been the big complaint that I've had about, or a big complaint anyway, was how long it takes to get anywhere and do anything. So if you could blaze across the landscape in a really fast feeling way, looking forward to that for sure.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that is really cool as well. I wonder if though the speed will be just a little bit more than, how can I put this nicely? People want to have fun with combat, and as you were mentioning, he talked about the speed a few times. He also talked about how it did take a little bit of time to get used to the whole way that the combat moving so fast, right?
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if that will be a little bit of something not that much fun, for lack of a better word.
I don't know. I mean, it's all depends on whether you're into trying something new or not. It's actually a chat I had with Leonor at one point, that there's a lot of people out there that like Lotro for what it is, and they don't want to see it changed.
Right.
Whereas, I mean, obviously, the mechanics that we're coming in through here, uh, it's, I mean, adding speed as a component, like basically you hit harder as you ride faster,
Yeah.
is going to be an important aspect to all this. So the way combat is going to work is going to change, and it's probably going to feel maybe a little bit more twitchy or high adrenaline or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be it is going to be a change. So we'll see if we'll see if people actually like that or not.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually I'm really keen to see if this is a significant new mechanic or not.
Yeah, the other thing too that looks cool from this is the ability to save different configurations for your warhorse and and being able to do that. And as the chat room says, it'd be nice to get that for your characters as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's really cool to see that they'll be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk to the chat room, Bill. Focus.
Oh, pardon me.
Focus.
I am focused. It's your story next, dummy.
No, you're still mentioning about the you had to mention the Riders of Rohan bit too. Aren't you going to mention that? Not the Riders of Rohan, 10-ton hammer. Duh. Sorry, apparently talking and thinking at the same time are just a little bit too much. But I mean, the story is pretty much the same thing. Like, and I'm putting it up on the chat now, or on the thing. It does show you how fast you're going, which is kind of cool. 14.3 meters per second.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. 14.3 meters per second.
Yes.
It doesn't seem very fast.
Meters, Bill. Meters.
I know, but it's just 14.3.
Could be miles per second.
I mean, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
right.
I'm a good Canadian. I like the metric system and everything like that. But yeah, in some cases, imperial is just the way to go. LOTRO feels like it should be imperial, not metric.
Yeah, 14.3 miles per second. You think that's what they're going for?
No.
I
I'm
don't
saying
think
I
so
wish
either.
they were imperial rather than. I'm
All
not
right.
suggesting they
All
actually
right,
are.
fine. Moving along. Now, I didn't get a chance to go back to last week's show and pull up the part where I said how I didn't like the fact that Turbine recently had taken to going too far on the edge and then pulling back on something. And this is when we were talking about the mannequins, of course. So you will notice, of course, that, hey, guess what Turbine did? They pulled back on how integrated the mannequins were. Wow. Who called that? Who called that? Thank you. It does not make me feel good about Turbine, and if this is the way in which they're going to do business. If they're going to come here and go too far and then pull back, but then leave it too far if nobody complains, there's other ways in which they can try out new markets. If they had tried this with the easy, like the easy, the less intrusive way first, and then added some, I would have been less mad than if they had gone the other way, right? The way that they did. But I have to say, I am quite disappointed that they seem to think that this is a perfectly respectable and reasonable way to do business. I find it's incredibly insulting to the fans and insulting to the players when they do that. And I'm just really disappointed in that. I would have expected more. That being said, it really didn't bug me in game, but it's the way that they did it. Like, to me, I don't really care about the mannequins. I really, to be honest, wherever they are, whatever. Like I said last week, it'd be nice if they were a little bit more in game, but the fact that they go so far and then pull back, go so far and then pull back, I'm happy that they fixed it because so many players are happy, but that's not a way to ingratiate yourself with your players.
So just to give a quick rundown of what they changed. So they changed the name of it. It's no longer an apparel dummy. It's actually called a mannequin. Try to make it seem a little bit more dignified, I suppose. It doesn't sparkle and glow anymore, or won't sparkle and glow anymore. And they'll also they're removing it from a few of the less appropriate locations for the mannequins, including Lothlorien and Rivendell. So yeah, basically a lot of the points that we talked about last week getting pulled back. It's an unfortunate way of dealing with the community. Let's throw something at the community that we think that we're not going to like, but let's just see how much they don't like it. That's not a good way to go. If you're going to be throwing stuff in there, you got to be throwing some good stuff in there too. So we'll see how we'll see how it all shakes out in the end. Obviously, I mean, but it's an unfortunate trend that we've seen with a lot of different changes now. And I hope that somebody is looking at this and and kind of recognizing, benefit. Let's even try benefit of the doubt. I know I've been ranting on this as hard as anybody or anything like that, but just for experiment's sake, if we give them the benefit of the doubt and say this is a pure accident and this is an honest mistake, hopefully there's some internal dialogue going in there and saying, look, we've made this mistake an awful lot. Let's put some extra effort into not doing it anymore.
It's hard to think. I'm completely happy, I think, with the years and years of service and the fantastic, in my opinion, community team and development team that they have at Turbine. They've earned some benefit of the doubt. It's these rapid succession of, to be blunt, dumb decisions or business marketing driven decisions that, in my opinion, show that it's a little bit more than an oopsie. Sorry. I think this is more of a plan, and I'm disappointed in that. I would have expected more.
Yeah, and Rose in the chat room says, I mean, she is saying that it's good that they're responding to feedback, and I agree. It's not like the community, or it appears anyway, that the community is not talking to a brick wall. There's actually somebody listening. It's just, it would be good if they didn't have to listen so much.
True.
I like that they listen lots, but I wish that they didn't have to listen so much.
Yep.
So.
Yep. No. Anyway, I agree.
So anyway, good, nice change. Hopefully, this tones down the intrusion that the mannequins had on the landscape. So finally, last bit of news that we wanted to touch on here, it's been a big news week for LOTRO.
It has.
Is yet another Chance Thomas track from the new Rohan soundtrack. Right. So just wanted to put that out there. Let it rip, Chris, and we'll give a listen.
I'm going to talk about it first because I can finally talk about this.
Oh, right, please.
What I've been hinting about for the longest time, and I can actually talk about it bluntly, coming up should be in the next issue of PC Gamer. I was lucky enough to go down for a day down to the recording of the Lord of the Rings online soundtrack in Salt Lake City. I had lunch and dinner with Chance Thomas. Chatted with him and a few other people, as well as the fiddle player on a couple of these tracks, and really had an amazing time, both as a musician and as a gamer. It was a really, really cool experience, and I wish I could have talked about it before. I've been able to listen to these... well, that was interesting. I think that was my house. Can you hear that?
It's just not ending, is it? No, I was actually muted for that. So
a cup went down the stairs. I think that was interesting.
I think it hit every single stair, too.
Pretty much. All right, so I did go down to Salt Lake City. I had a really, really fantastic time. So I've had a chance to listen to this soundtrack in its unfinished form for, I guess, a couple of months now. So I've really been enjoying these, and hearing these now in their finished form is really cool. And I do want to mention something about this track here. I do believe, and please don't quote me 100% on this, but I do believe this is the track where Aaron, the violin/fiddle player, used an instrument called a hardanger, which is like a violin, but if you can picture a violin, there's a piece of wood that comes out from the body of the violin up to the strings. That's called the bridge. It holds the strings up off the body of the violin. You'll see that on every stringed instrument, cello, viola, violin, double bass. There's that bridge there that brings it up. And from underneath where the strings are, there are these sympathetic strings underneath that vibrate and give it a really... buzzy sound. It's really, really cool. And I think at the beginning, when you hear that sort of almost scratchy sound added to the violin, that's what you're listening to here. So here is Learning to Ride by Chance Thomas on the Riders of Rohan soundtrack. awesome. I want more. By the way, there for the chat room, there's a little shot from my trip on the video. So, oh, that was just fun, and that's Chance there with the fiddle player in his recording session. So there we go. Very cool. Yeah, Bill, thoughts? What do you think of it?
It had a very what's the word, like it felt like a bit of a title track. Like you could
You
see,
think so?
like I could see that's the one that they would use if they did a big, like 5-minute trailer for the game or something like that, or a 5-minute gameplay trailer or something. I don't know. I don't
You
know
know what?
where I
It
get
would
the
be
vibe from
a
it,
good montage video. But if they do a title
Mhm.
track for a trailer, this is what they got to use. Come on.
Yeah, I could go either way.
Well, you're wrong. So, yeah, that was Learning to Ride, and I have a feeling it's going to be used when you first get on your war steed. What do you think, Bill?
Oh, I think the title kind of gives it away.
You think so? You think so? You sure?
Maybe just a bit.
Just a bit. All right, so hopefully you all enjoyed it as well. And if the soundtrack ever comes out, I highly recommend it. There was actually a discussion in the chat room about whether or not it would come out, if it should be free or paid for. I think this should be something that people should pay for because we want to support Turbine making things that are worth our money. And this soundtrack is worth our money. So I think that this is something that they should continue doing, and that we should support their continued doing of this thing by paying for it. And Bill thinks it should be free because he just wants everything free. Because that's how Bill rolls.
Well, not true. I don't mind paying for LOTRO. In fact, I pay for LOTRO every month. If
Yeah.
they happen to give us the music as part of that thing that I pay for every month, then giddy up. That would be just fine with me.
If paying for a soundtrack meant that they did more fully orchestrated soundtracks, I would be so in on that.
Well,
Totally.
yes, but that's a bit of a straw man argument because you're assuming that they're only going to do orchestral scores for assuming that they can actually sell the soundtrack, which I don't know is
True.
necessarily the case.
Oh, I would buy it.
Oh, I'm glad you would.
I would totally pay money for
I
this.
would almost guarantee you're going to get the opportunity.
Yeah. All right, so let's move things along. Lots of news. Time to move on to our sponsor, Typefrag. Typefrag is the leader in online voice communication. If you are going into Riders Rohan and you want to get yourself set up with your kinship, and your kinship hasn't really ever used voice chat or has used the in-game voice chat, you want to upgrade to Typefrag. Your kinship, you want to take it to the next level by getting a Ventrilo, a Mumble, or TeamSpeak 3 server. It is fantastic, really, really easy to use, and I'm sorry, way better quality than the in-game chat. I don't think anybody would agree or disagree, so I'm going to take that apology back because I think everybody would agree with me anyway. But it's definitely worthwhile, worth checking out, and I bet you, Bill, we can even give people a little bit of a deal if they want to go check it out, can't we?
You bet. You should head over to www.typefrag.com if you're looking for a bit of out-of-game voice chat service there. Again, like Chris said, a high-quality, really good service. Head over to typefrag.com. Check out the different plans they've got there. They've got servers ranging from a 5-person server up to, I'm pretty sure they have a 1,000,000-person server that you can pay a lot of money for. You might have to call customer service for that, but I'm sure they could do it for you. Anyway, check out the different plans. If they've got one that matches your kin size or your playgroup size, go ahead and sign up. When you do, make sure you use the coupon code MMO Reporter, all one word, and Typefrag will give you 25% off for being a loyal LOTRO Reporter listener. So definitely check it out, www.typefrag.com, and enjoy your voice chat.
All right, for this week's Did You Know, Leonor has sent us in a fantastic recording of his tips for all you super awesome crafters out there.
Hello, this is Leonor with another Did You Know? Today we're going to try and help out the die-hard crafter. Over in the Skirmish Vendor, there's a crafter NPC. He's got usual stuff that you could pretty much figure out would be there, crafting items and other things. But what we're going to point out today is the expertise recipes. What they do is you get this recipe, and it will allow you to buy a expertise token with skirmish marks. You take this token and you take it to the crafting hall and beat the heck out of it until it turns into powder. This somehow gives you reputation for the crafting guild that you are going for. They have them for apprentice and all the way up to Westfold. The cooldown on these recipes are 2 days and 18 hours. But if you want to speed up your crafting, you can do all of these recipes every 2 days and 18 hours. And that'll bump it up pretty quick. The next thing I want to point out is something that people just don't know about, and I'm not exactly sure why. It's the bulk recipes for the gathering professions. Let's say you have about 50 pieces of copper to hammer out and get 25 ingots out of it. If you were to use this recipe, it would do it all in one batch. So that's 25 ingots out in one shot. It only takes about a few seconds, maybe 5 seconds to get it all done, instead of a lot more time if you were doing these one at a time. You should not be using these for the gathering profession that you're doing, though, because these will rob you of points. If you want to get a whole bunch of points, you need to do them one at a time. This is just to speed it up in case you need to do a whole bunch of crafting to make money on the auction hall. While talking to people about crafting, I found a strangely large number of people that have only been hitting the Get Ingredients button that shows up on your recipe panel. I highly recommend you guys look for the ingredients for these things first. Most of the times they do not take very long to find. The auction hall is always flowing with ingredients. Sometimes the things are a bit too expensive, and sometimes you just want the thing done and you just click the button anyway, and I don't blame you. But for some reason, there's a lot of people that are just clicking that button and thinking that that is the thing to do. So take a tip from Leonor and ask around and see if people have ingredients for these things first in your kin. And that was Did You Know?
Awesome. Thanks, Leonor. As always, a fantastic Did You Know. I did know a few things about that, but as always, I learn a little bit, which is always good, isn't it, Bill? Learning is good.
Absolutely, yeah. The crafting acceleration will be handy for me because I've been looking at my poor, pathetic farming skill, or cooking skill, excuse me. No, yes, cooking skill, and I had to think about it there for a second, and thinking that I need to improve that. So yeah, maybe I will go and accelerate that a little bit with the skirmish marks
That would be worthwhile.
tokens.
That would be worthwhile. All right, let's take a quick second to talk about our last sponsor today. We're talking, of course, about Guild Launch, the official home for all of the MMO Reporter kinships, guilds, sites, corporations, clans, whatever we've got. We go through Guild Launch because Guild Launch is easy to use because I got no time to do all of those guild sites, and it's a really great way to keep in touch with all of different communities that I am a part of. So highly recommend that you check out Guild Launch. I won't use anybody else, and we don't advertise anyone that we don't use. So there you go. They are really, really worthwhile, aren't they, Bill?
Absolutely, it's a free service. It's a great service to have if you have a kin, and there's not really any good reason not to have a Guild Launch site because again, free and easy. So if you've got a kin that needs a website, head over to www.guildlaunch.com and create your free account there. When you do create that account, though, make sure you use the coupon code MMO Reporter, because that's going to give you, for 1 month, free access. There's that word again. To all the premium features available through Guild Launch. That includes things like automated roster imports, raid scheduling, as well as an ad-free site for you to try out everything that you want to try out with your new Guild Launch site. So check it out, www.guildlaunch.com, and use that coupon code MMO Reporter. All right, so our next installment, our semi-finals of Skirmish of Skirmishes has happened, and this week we ran Attack at Dawn versus Rescue at Ner'zghoshu, and it was a lot of fun. It was a really good night. These are two skirmishes that we've all really enjoyed, two challenging skirmishes, and had lots of fun. So we'll start with you, Chris. What did you think? Give us a rundown of how you felt first with Attack at Dawn.
Attack at Dawn, we've liked it, and we don't like the backtracking for all of the different skirmishes, so there is that whole thing. But overall, it's nice for encounters. Thank you very much for finishing my thought. I don't really love that, but I did love the forward momentum that you keep going. The catapults are a nice mechanic in there. It's always fun dodging around the stuff in that middle courtyard. Once you get past that middle courtyard, I don't find it as big of an issue, but moving your way up, it's kind of fun to do that. The fights are somewhat interesting at the end, right? We always have that pretty tough fight right by the catapults. That one is always quite challenging, which was again this time. Thankfully, we didn't die there. And the last boss fight is always tough. It's always tough. So we did pretty much everyone wipe, right? We had everyone wipe, didn't we? Or did everyone but you wipe?
Nope. Everybody but the captain.
Right.
Captains are indestructible.
So so it went. It was interesting. And that final fight was fun though, because you have to jump from the main boss to the other one. Should I move on to Rescue at Ner'zghoshu?
Yeah, sure. What did you think of the rescue?
I like it too. That's the thing. It's interesting getting into the rift, the fellowship maneuvers, the conjunctions to get down. The things that come up, the lava things, is fun. The fights are tough. They're a challenge. We're doing them at tier 2 now, so it's obviously going to be something that's going to be more of a challenge. And that last boss fight, man, it is a challenge. So it's a real tough one for me. I'll hold on to my vote until you've described your thoughts on the two of them.
Yep. Yeah. Basically, I'm kind of on board with Attack at Dawn. Attack at Dawn has a nice. The difficulty has a nice flow to it. You start off with some really difficult pulls. You have to be a little bit careful, but from there, you can plan it. It's very like you could strategize basically how you take the different groups and that kind of thing, and from that perspective, you have a little bit more control over the skirmish. And the boss fight at the end, it's a nice difficulty for a skirmish. It's got a couple mechanics in there that you have to be really careful of, because that boss will hit like a ton of bricks with a couple of attacks. And of course, you have to keep your eyes open for that little goblin that is trying to escape to defeat to tattle on the location of shoot, what's the name of the town we're protecting here? Do you remember? Estelden. Thank you. I forgot that.
And Asani to the rescue.
So anyway, yes, really good skirmish there. Rescue at Ner'zghoshu. The difficulty is up a notch, a pretty significant notch actually from Attack at Dawn. The quote unquote trash fights as you go through the skirmish are more difficult. You get more mobs. You get harder hitting mobs.
Yep.
Obviously it takes a little bit of paying attention. Obviously on 3-man it's not too bad with the conjunctions to advance, but it gets a little bit more complicated I think as you get into larger sized groups in that skirmish.
Agreed.
There's a lot of challenge in there. You have to be paying attention with Rescue Nurzgashu because you will die. And I think no, I survived Nurzgashu. I died once in Attack at Dawn. We all wiped on the end boss there after one really bad hit. But I did survive Nurzgashu to the end. So anyway, yeah, they're both really good skirmishes. So we'll let you go first, Chris, and let us know which one did you vote for.
This is really, really hard. This is really, really tough. But I think I have to go with Attack at Dawn. I think that the whole Gullidir stuff at the end of Nurzgashu just takes away all the stuff that they've built up and turns it into kind of a silliness. The boss fight in itself, if you take out all of the Gullidir stuff, is fun. You know, having to move the bosses around to the ice traps, and that in itself is enough. And I think they over-designed it, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to go with Attack at Dawn.
Okay. Well, you are entitled to your incorrect opinion. Actually, Isana voted for Attack at Dawn as well. We had the little bit of the discussion pre-show, and for her, it was basically the end fight was just, it's too complex. For a three-person skirmish, as a healer, she's got to pay attention to everyone's health bars, which do dance around a lot in that fight. You've got to watch where Coronir is running. You've got to watch both bosses that you're trying to fight. You've got to watch for those ice traps. You've got to watch for crap on the floor. And you've got to watch and try to find Gullidir so you can take part in those conjunctions when they need it. And it's just, there's too much happening. I could see this almost being an end boss for a raid, almost, like in terms of complexity and that kind of thing, and the number of things that you have to keep track of.
Yeah.
And so I agree with Sana there that that's just a lot to pay attention to. So that said, I actually did vote for the rescue at Nurzgashu. And the reason I did, even though it's frustrating and we have not completed it to the end yet, we always die on that boss.
That's true.
I feel like it's at that level of difficulty where if we do beat it, it's going to be like the greatest thing in the world, and we're going to high five. And that level of challenge is very unique in the skirmishes that are out there. With the possible exception of the Icy Crevasse, there's nothing that's this difficult out there, at least as the three-man. Now we talked to the chat room a little bit about this. I believe it was Rose was saying that it doesn't scale well. It's a really fun skirmish to run solo, and it's still quite doable. But as soon as you start getting into bigger groups, it's more difficult. I've never run it as a 6-person or a 12-person, but considering the difference between solo or even duo up to a 3-person, I can only imagine how much more difficult it becomes. Yeah. So. I'm definitely cognizant of that. I did really enjoy our Attack at Dawn run, but I'm voting for Nurzgashu this week.
Well,
so now things get interesting because it's actually a tie. Our chat room has voted so far 4-2 for Rescue at Nurzgashu. So we are at a tie. Now, what creative way are we going to break this tie this week,
by
Chris?
looking at our emails.
Oh, let her rip.
So I voted Attack at Dawn. Asana voted Attack at Dawn. You voted Nurzgashu. Chat room voted Nurzgashu, and the email says Attack at Dawn.
Really, this phantom email?
No, it's there in the chat room, right there. I can even tell you who it's from. From Rose. There you go. Seriously, ask Rose in the chat room. She sent it. It's there. It was there. I can forward you the email if you want.
Okay, please do.
It was there. It was there from the beginning. Okay, I will go down here and forward the email to Bill. Let's just, there we go, and forward.
I was just thinking, because it wasn't in the show notes before.
Yes, it was. Forwarded.
Yeah, it wasn't very,
It was there.
I'll take your word for it, Chris, because I know
You
you
don't need to
wouldn't
take my
fib
word
about
for you. I
something.
forwarded the email to you. Thank you.
I did. Well, I haven't got it yet, but
And
like
Rose
I said,
just
I'll take
confirmed
your
in the
word for
chat
it
room.
because I know you wouldn't fib about something as important as this. So, oh, Rose, you were my favorite. I'm on
So,
team. I'm on team Leonor now.
oh, that's low. That's low. I wouldn't put that on anybody. So yes, it looks like our first finalist is Attack at Dawn. It will
Dun,
be
dun, dun,
facing
dun,
off
dun.
in a few weeks against Thievery and Mischief against Protectors of Thangalad. So one of those two is going to face off against Attack at Dawn. So, oh,
It's gonna be a fun one again next week. That's for sure.
it will be.
I really like both of those
I do
skirmishes.
too. I do too. I love them both. So it's going to be tough, but Attack at Dawn will face one of those. And then maybe as a bonus round, we'll have Methadras face off against the winner of the final and see if we still like the finalist better.
Yeah, I think that would be entirely appropriate. Maybe they'll release another skirmish by then. Who knows?
All right, so we do have a couple of other things that we want to mention real quickly. First of all, for all of our listeners in the Seattle area or who will be in the Seattle area for the Penny Arcade Expo PAX, we will be having a meetup in Seattle on August 30th at the Elephant and Castle Pub, which is just underneath the Red Lion Hotel, about a block from the convention center itself. So if you're anywhere near downtown, it's there. There's some good parking as well nearby, so you can check it out there. We would like people to send me an email if you could, please and thank you, just to let us know who's going to be there, because it's kind of important for us to know how many people are going to be there. So you can just send an email to mmo.reporter@gmail.com just to let me know if you'll be able to attend. Even if you are not going to PAX, but you are in the Seattle area, we would love to have you there. We're going to have all sorts of prizes. I think I'm going to bring, for those of you that are in the chat room now, I'm just leaning back on my mic, pointing to the cloak that we got at PAX East. I will bring that to PAX Prime for anybody who's there, and maybe give some of that away to someone. I'm thinking, I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I might bring my last signed copy of LOTRO back with Patience's signature on it. Quite a few signatures
Wow.
on it, so that's going back a
That's
bit.
a collector's item.
That is a collector's item. I might bring that there, but no matter what, we will have a whole bunch of prizes. The Turbine is always good about getting us prizes, and from all the other games that we cover as well, it'll be really great to try and get some stuff there for all of those games as well. So please check it out, mmoreporter.com/PAX. Check out the information and send me an email if you're going to attend. We really need to know how many people are going to be there. And last but not least, you will notice if you go to LOTROreporter.com or any of the MMOreporter.com sites, we just wanted to mention really, really quickly that we do have a new Support MMO Reporter button on the right, which will take you to our donation page. It's got a few different options there, 3 different subscriptions, $2, $5, $10, and a one-time donation as well. Basically, we want to do more. We want to do more conferences. We want to do PAX East again. And we want to do, and I should probably fix the spelling mistake on the picture there, because it's not PAS East, it's PAX East. And we really, really would love to do more, but we need your help to be able to do that. So that's 100% of the money will be going to covering all those sorts of things like trips. I would really love to do the Sony Online Entertainment Expo in Las Vegas. But again, all those things cost money. New equipment and then getting prizes for all you fantastic people also cost us some money. So we would love to be able to do more. So if you find it in your heart to go check that out, just go to mmoreporter.com and click on the Support MMO Reporter button and set something up. We would very, very much appreciate it. This sort of came out of the idea of the Penny Arcade Kickstarter and how they're trying to go ad-free. We've got some great relationships with sponsors that we think are really, really awesome and want to continue having sponsor on all the different things, but we'd love to be able to to do those trips without having to rely on sponsors. Sponsorships are awesome. The more we can take in, the bigger crew we can take on these sorts of events. So the more you can support us, the less we have to rely on sponsors for those sorts of things. So sorry for the long-winded explanation, but just sort of wanted to put that out there. Kind of awkward. I feel like I'm on the street corner with with a hat.
Oh no,
out.
I don't want to. Don't get that image out of my head right now. Quick, puppies.
It's doing stuff for all of our fantastic listeners, right? You love the content that we put out. You want us to do more. We'd love to do it. We just need to be able to pay for those silly little plane flights and hotels, and eating's nice every once in a while. So there you go. All right, Bill, I think that that has silenced you. So why don't you go into, if people want to contact us, the different contact info that we might have.
Well, if you would like to get a hold of us, you can send us an email to lotro.reporter@gmail.com. You can get us on Twitter @LotroReporter. You can look for us on Facebook, facebook.com/LotroReporter. You can give us a call at 616-666-6778. Leave us a voicemail. Let us know what you think of... I don't know. Let us know what you think of the sadness that is Rescue at Nurskashu not being in the Skirmish of Skirmishes anymore. I want to hear somebody just brokenhearted about it as I am. So anyway, look for us on YouTube. Check out youtube.com/user/MMO Reporter Network. Give us a follow if you'd like to hear from us there. We'd love to see that number grow. We're a YouTube counter. We're one of those people. Yeah, it's bad. You can also, most importantly, find us both of us on the Brandywine server. My captain's name is Banff, BANFF, like the town, and Chris's warden is Wardazar, both level 75. I know, kind of a big deal. And finally, you can find everything Lotro Reporter related over on LotroReporter.com for show notes. You can leave comments, as well as all of our previous episodes as well. And finally, as well, I'm going to say as well one more time, links to all of the other MMO Reporter Network podcasts. So all kinds of good things for you to reach out and touch MMO Reporter.
In a friendly way, not in a creepy way.
Of course.
All right, Bill, I think we have shown a show tonight.
Indeed.
So let's show everybody what the intro music sounds like, shall we? Or exit music.
Good night, all.
Thanks, Bill. It was fun recording. Thanks, chat room. As always, you are super duper awesome. And thanks to everyone for downloading the podcast. We really, really appreciate it. We hope that you download the podcast again next week. But most importantly, we hope to see you in game.